Christian Bible. Genesis, the message and purpose. Creation. God is the sovereign Lord and creator of all things. God created everything out of nothing. There was no pre-existing material. He is the creator, not a craftsman. This indicates that he has infinite power, perfect control over everything. He is separate from the created order. Right? Whoever created a computer doesn't live in a computer. Sin, evil, and sin do not originate with God. Adam and Eve were created innocent, with the capacity to make choices. Sin entered the world at a specific place in time and history. Adam and Eve choose freely to disobey God. Wow. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, that's time, God created the heavens, that's space, and the earth, and that's matter. Time, space, and matter must all coexist. God does not live inside time, space, or matter. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters in the first day. And God said, Let there be light. And there was light, and God saw the light, and that it was good. And God divided the light from darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evenings and the mornings were the first day. The second day. And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmaments, and divided the waters which were under the firmaments from the waters which were above the firmaments, and it was so. And God called the firmaments heavens, and the evenings and the mornings were the second day. The third day. And God said, Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, and the herbs yielding seeds, and fruits, tree yielding fruits after its kind, whose seeds in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seeds after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, and its whose seeds of itself after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evenings and the mornings were the third day. The fourth day. And God said, Let there be a light in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for the signs, for the seasons, and for the days and the years, and let them be for the light in the firmaments of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, and the greater light to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also, and God set them in the firmaments of the heavens to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evenings and the mornings were the fourth day. The fifth day. And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, fowl that they may fly above the earth in the open firmaments of heavens. And God created the great whales and every living creatures that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. In the evenings and the mornings were the fifth day. The sixth day. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creatures after its kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after its kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after its kind, cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after its kind. And God saw that it was good. The creation of man. And God said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the cattle, and over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. The giving of food. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, every tree in which is the fruit of the tree of yielding seeds to yield, it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given you every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evenings and the mornings were the sixth day. Genesis 2, the seventh day. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his works in which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his works which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his works which God created and made. These are the generations of heavens and of the earth, and when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herbs of the fields before it grew, for the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up from the mist from the earth the water the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and man became a living soul. At that time, that's when they had the Pangea going in. And in all our DNA, we got that dirt in it. The Garden of Eden. So he took Adam out of the Garden of Eden. Out, and put him in there. So he must have been just wandering around. So who knows where he was? So, the Garden of Eden. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man in whom he had formed, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the river went out of Eden to the waters, the gardens, and from thence it was parted, and became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is in which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, and where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good, and there is bdellium and the oxen stones. And the name of the second river is Gihon, the same that is compasseth to the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, and that is which goeth towards the east of Assyria, and fourth rivers of Ephrates. Man to care for the garden. You had one job. And the Lord God took the man, and he put him into the Garden of Eden, and dressed it, and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou shalt eat thereof, thou shalt surely die. And the Lord God said, It is not good for the man should be alone, and I will make him a help to meet for him. Adam names living creatures. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, every fowl of the air, and brought them into Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all the cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a help meet for him. The creation of woman. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib in which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bone, and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Woman. The first marriage. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, and man and his wife were not ashamed. Of course not. They were like animals. Like the animals are not ashamed. They don't know what sin is, because they didn't eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil yet. Verse 1. In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, It says right here in the Bible translation of the Christian HALLMAN Bible translation, since the time of the translation of the Old Testament into Greek has rendered the first Hebrew verse was, however, is an effort to explain the origins of evil and find biblical evidence for an old earth. Some Bible scholars have suggested that the verb should be translated to became, citing evidence in Isaiah 14:12 through 21, Ezekiel 28:12 through 19, the first two verses of the Bible during which Satan led a rebellion in heaven against God. This allows interpreters to suggest that the early earth was without form and void. Because Satan's rebellion marred God's good creation, however, the construction of the sentences in the original Hebrew favors the traditional translations was rather than became, since the verse 2 is that God created the earth without form and void as an unfinished and unfilled state, working through an orderly process over a period of 6 days. God formed day 1 through 3 and filled days 4 through 6, his created handiwork. The forming was accomplished by means of 3 acts of separation, of sorting various elements of creation from the one to another. The filling was carried out through 5 acts of populating the newly created domains. The deep in the single word in Hebrew suggests that original state of creation that was shapeless as liquid water. The Hebrew verb translated moved, translated fluttereth, in Deuteronomy 32:12 suggests that the Spirit of God was watching over his creation just as a bird watches over its young. Wow, that's deep.